How would you start your cloud engineer career again? A friend recently asked me this question, and I thought it would be a good idea for me to share how I would approach this now in 2025, how I would build from scratch this career, how I would launch that in the marketplace. Number one for me would be mastering the core for compute, network, storage, and security. It would be easy to get distracted with all the services that we have in Azure. You are going to see that for compute, you have different resources that can be used for compute. And I would master just the most essential ones. And you may ask, Louis, how I would master the most essential ones if I don't know? And what I would do is I would ask 5 people working in the industry, hey, what are the services that you are using right now in Azure in your company? And you can find them in tech events. You can message them on LinkedIn. Pay close attention here. What are the services that you are using right now? Not the services that you are studying or the services that you are planning or any new shiny object that you may be studying or keen to implement. Because one of the challenges in our industry is we are usually drawn into this shiny object syndrome. And I was guilty of this in the past. Like I would study a lot of tools, a lot of technology, a lot of new ways of doing the things. And at the end of the day, usually business would come back to me like, hey, we want to keep things simple, secure, and we want to move fast. That's it. We don't want the latest new DevOps tool or the latest new tooling that you can use. There is a space in the market for that, and I recommend more for startups. They're really keen on that, but more mature organizations, they want the job done. It's secure, it's simple, other people can manage, and that's it. And that would give you clarity around the services. And I would repeat the same for the other 3, security, what we are doing there, networking, and also for storage. And you would see a pattern, like after these 5 interviews with tech pros, I would not be just relying like on some YouTuber talking about a lot of technologies, because usually people are really excited about all the tools that you can use, but companies, they really implement very few of them because you need to have some standards. Other people need to understand that. Mastering this core 4 is crucial if you want to pursue this career in tech. The hint number 2 is send a sign to hire managers that you're committed with one cloud provider. If I was in this path of Azure, I would go into their website and look for the Microsoft Applied Skills. This is a new track of kind of certifications that they launched 1 year ago now, and they're free for cloud engineers or DevOps engineers. They call more administrator, so you can tick some box there. You can see all the options that you have there to study the curriculum, take the online assessments, and you receive a badge for that. Cool part with that is once you get that badge, you can publish in your LinkedIn profile, and that really is looked with good eyes in the marketplace. Obviously, some people, sometimes they fall in the trap of just studying for certifications, getting a lot of certifications, and it's not really the number of certifications that count. I believe that if you have 1 or 2 under your belt and you have congruence during the interview to talk about those skills, master the core 4s, now you have that certification, and when you go to an interview, you can talk about that. Being able to communicate with people, being able to talk about the services. And even one of the certifications of Microsoft, it's really interesting. They have a statement of the certifications that for you to get the certification, you should have the ability to talk about the services. In the past, and I feel guilty of this, I would take a lot of certifications. I knew the technology, but I didn't know how to communicate or how to connect the dots with that technology. So it's really paramount for you to be able to communicate, externalize your thoughts when using that type of technology. And when send a sign to hire managers that you're committed with one cloud provider. Number 3, overcome the experience myth. There are 2 types of experience. experience earned and experience learned. Experience earned is really the one that you did the work, you were there under the trends, you were deploying the services, you were configuring. Experience learned is when you learn from someone else. I was mentioning earlier about talking with these people in the industry. That's a way of learning, but also in my case, what I did this back in 2020, there was a really interesting project that I saw in a superannuation company that I was working on. I was kind of the person that gave the idea of the project. I didn't know how to do it at that time. The business did hire a very well-known consulting firm to build that project. I had the opportunity to watch end to end, like from the inception to the implementation, deployment. I was part of all the meetings, all the sessions. For me, it was some type of experience learned. Like I didn't earn by building it, but I learned it watching. And what I did there was I rebuilt that on my end as a lab. So after I saw how they did, recreated from the scratch all that project based on what I saw. And that allowed me to have this learned experience that was incorporated in my curriculum. And later on, even during interviews with other companies, I would tell that I did that project because at that stage, I knew all the pieces, like how that would work. And later on, I was able to replicate that same type of project in other companies. So if you feel that, Louis, I don't have all this experience, I don't have all these projects, you can learn the experience and incorporate in your career and your resume. People may say, oh, Louis, but this doesn't sound fair, like it's cheating. And you're building the skills, you're doing the work, you're being resourceful. Find a way to get the Azure subscription created by yourself, like you're paying from your own pocket the expenses of that compute running. So that demonstrates that you are thinking actually outside of the box, in my opinion. I believe this is what really companies need. Like, it's not someone that just can do the task in front of them, but they have more perspective. And when you do this and you showcase that, it's an experience that you can talk and demonstrate. Number 4, build a world-class resume. You mastered the fundamentals, got some badge. Now you can send that signage to the market, capture some experience. Now you can build a world-class resume that would speak on the value of those activities, like not only the technology mastered, but what I accomplished using that technology, or what was the goal when doing a lab, what that would achieve. Even higher managers, they will look at your resume and they will be inspired. All right, this guy is committed, like it seems that he did his homework. They can see the words, they can see the vocabulary. You are going to stand out doing that. And the next step would be the number 5, apply for roles even if you are feeling unprepared. We usually used to believe that we need to be 100% prepared or tick all the boxes of a specific role that is advertised. And I realized along the way, and now transitioning in maybe 7 or 8 different times here in Australia, that the job requirements list all the skills and capacity that someone should bring in, but some of them, they are kind of aspirational, they are going to use in the future, or maybe it's already legacy stuff, like they did use, they are not even using more. I learned this kind of going through this journey and talking with different people as well, that they gave me some hints on that. We shouldn't be really scared when we see all those job requirements, like you did your homework, like you mastered the fundamentals, you got your badge there, you got your projects, the resume is well prepared. Like, I would just apply. Also, I would apply with volume because one of the challenges that I see in the industry is people sometimes they apply for 4 roles, 5 roles. They never hear back, or maybe they hear back from one. They do the interview doesn't go well, and they got discouraged. Like, and now they're not applying anymore because they believe that all these roles, they are very demanding. They want an IT department in a single person. There are different ways that we can work on that, like from the job application perspective, from also people finding your profile on the internet. But you really need to increase the volume. I should say, In my case, like the roles that were really good for me, I was in front of my resume was in front of at least 100, 110 companies, and I got different interviews, and I was able to choose like what was best opportunity for me. And few people think that way. It's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to maybe give up like on the next step of your career. That's what I would do if I was restarting. Like I would really hit hard in the market and have different conversations with different companies, keep moving ahead like to land into that job offer. Number 6, I would master the interview process. If I did all this work in the previous steps, I would really commit myself to get better in the interviews. And that doesn't mean that's just spending hours and hours preparing. I would prepare the right questions to ask, good statement to open the interview, like when they ask like the famous question, tell me about yourself. Because that would give me more confidence. I would be more grounded. Like it would be more fluid, the whole process. Like I could be more present. Like because that's really a process of mastering that. Like getting comfortable with those questions, getting comfortable with some statements about your experience, the projects that you did, or how are you planning the future of your career. I would usually talk with 5 different companies, and potentially 3 or 2 of them, they would land to a job offer and I could pick one of them. I believe that this would make me fast track like my achievement in this field. I wish that for you. Like if you apply these steps, you are going to see that you can really land fast a job in this cloud area. If you want to really to fast track and get all these pieces of the puzzle, hit the link below, book a consultation call with us, and I will show you how we can assist you with our roadmap to get you into your new cloud role. Cheers!